Hello everyone, welcome to Another Day in the Car. I'm Julez, and today we are reviewing the Alexis Sharkey case. Alexis Sharkey was an Instagram influencer and businesswoman who was working for Monat, or Monet, I don't know how to say the name of the company, but she was working for them, and she was a very successful young woman. She was reported missing and was found deceased all on Thanksgiving weekend in 2020. Her movements the last 2 days of her life, on Thursday, which was Thanksgiving, she reportedly had a meal with her husband Tom earlier in the day and then went over to some girlfriend's house. And after that, she went out dancing with some friends, and then she went home, and her vehicle did end up over at home. And on Friday, Alexis was with her husband, Tom, who is a bodybuilder in his 50s. He's also, I guess, works for oil companies, not sure exactly. Alexis was 26. And Tom is in his 50s. And they had some sort of disagreement. And Tom claims that Alexis got upset and took off on foot, and that she hopped over their patio wall and disappeared on foot. At some point that evening, he did reach out and call the boyfriend of Alexis's best friend and asked him whether Alexis had gone over there. And this boyfriend called Tom back at 11 p.m. and Tom again said that Alexis had not returned home and that they had had an argument and she had disappeared. Well, that Saturday morning, sanitation workers driving by noticed the feet and legs of what could have been a mannequin, but later turned out to be Alexis, sticking out of bushes on the side of the road. Alexis was completely naked and appeared to be cleaned, and I know that it rained, so I don't know if looking like she just stepped out of the bath, which is what the worker who found her remains stated. I don't know if that was related to her being cleaned by the perpetrator or if it's the result of the rainfall. Anyway, it took quite some time for the autopsy results to be made public. Now they have, and Alexis's cause of death was strangulation. It is a homicide. No one has been charged as yet. No one has been named a person of interest as yet. And ABC 13 in Houston contacted both the Houston Police Department and the Harris County District Attorney's Office to find out whether they were willing to sit down in front of a camera, since it has now been 6 months since she was discovered deceased, and they declined the invitation to speak on camera. The DA's office said that they don't comment on pending investigations. The police department says that this remains an active case and they are working to find Alexis's killer or killers. And they said that a case only becomes cold 3 years after they've exhausted all leads and investigative tools. So it is still an open case and there is no new news. Although Mark Stevens, a private investigator who spent 30 years in law enforcement, stated that building a criminal case against a suspect can take time. It could even take years. And while he's not tied to Alexis's case, he said that the fact that her remains were naked indicates to him that her killer did not want to get caught, that they wanted to get rid of the evidence because they know that investigators are going to be looking for DNA, and they know that prosecution gets one shot. If they don't get it right, the guy walks because of double jeopardy. He can never be charged again. A one-shot deal. And this Stevens guy mentioned social media pressure and how for high-profile cases it doesn't always help an investigation. He says that it only helps when there are new tips or new evidence coming in, but if it's just complaining and about what's not getting done and stuff, that can be a hindrance. So we'll just be mindful of that, not bother them, I guess, or get in the way. So that's what's going on with the Alexis Sharkey case. The law enforcement is still working on it, and they are choosing to not let the public know what's happening in it. The family and the friends of Alexis have been told by law enforcement not to share any more information, and they are respecting that. They are confident that law enforcement is working on it. So, what do you guys think? I know that at first it looked like the husband, but now I'm not so sure. There were reports from the girlfriends that they thought there were problems in the marriage and that Alexis could be afraid of him, and stuff about choking games in their bedroom life, shall we say. But we don't know for sure whether any of that is accurate. All we know is what has been released as evidence, which is not that much, and the clues that we get from what law enforcement has said, which is that it is ongoing and that they are looking for the killer or killers. So don't know if it's one or more people. It does look like somebody was covering up. A little bit surprised to realize that all those cameras that I was counting on in the beginning, haven't produced enough for them to have done anything yet. Maybe they're playing a long game for some reason. I thought that this case would be, pretty much figured out by now. And now I have no clue. Let me know what you think. With that, I would just like to remind all of you that if you find yourself in a situation where you feel unsafe, seek help. Get the heck out of there before things get any worse. You don't deserve to be treated in a way that makes you feel unsafe. Thank you for watching Another Day in the Car with Julez.
And open. Tom, I put this on for Tom and he loved it tied and open. So yeah, it's really, really pretty. Honestly, it looks